Hey guys, it's a amazing day out here, and just want to talk a little bit about how amazing the moments of life can be when you're sober and when your mind is in the right place. Um, I gave a little short on this before, but I want to expand on it and go over a couple of different things. I'm going to tell you three stories, and they may seem trivial or they may not seem super important, but if you can live your life this way and notice the beautiful moments that happen, then your life's going to be that much better. And being sober and having a clear mind and not worrying about your next drink or the next party, or how you're going to get your fix, or not feeling or feeling really shitty about stuff because your head hurts and whatnot, then these moments are the ones that really matter in life, and I think they're gonna really make your life that much better. But you have to be able to have a clear mind and be able to realize that these moments are out there and when they occur. So some of them included my kids, and then the one was just between my dad and I. So I'll start, I think, with the first one with my kids. We were at a dairy getting some ice cream, and it would seem like a normal situation, but I really went and thought about this afterwards and how kind this particular woman was. So we're in line, and my younger daughter, who's 7, was having a tough time trying to figure out what type of ice cream she wanted. And this woman behind us, probably upper 70s, 80, just a great spirit about her, was laughing a little bit and said, "Hey, you know what? My favorite's rum raisin, and this is the only place they have it, and that's why I come here all the time. It's beautiful." And my daughter was like, "Ooh, that doesn't sound so good," and things like that. But they laughed about it, no big deal. And as we got to the counter a little bit, my daughter got her vanilla with sprinkles or whatever. We got to the counter, and the woman said, "Hey, do you want to try some?" And Flora really liked it, and it was just a really cool moment where the woman didn't have to do that, but there was this kind of unspoken bond and spirit about her that really matched with my daughter, and I thought that was just really cool. The second incident was where we were eating dinner, and it was super busy, so we were trying to keep the girls busy before they sat down, or before we sat down and had some dinner together. And this woman came up and said, "Hey, I have a little sketch pad if your daughter wants to use it." And we said, "Oh, thank you so much for doing that. It's really nice of you." And so, my daughter was drawing some stuff in there, and we sat down at a table, and it was just a little notebook, a little 3x5 thing or something. So we sat down at the table, and my daughter decided to draw a little thank you note with a sunrise for this woman. And it was just the woman and her husband. We didn't know them at all in any form or whatever. So she did that, and then after we ordered food, she went over to the table and said, "Hey, here's a little thank you note for you with a sunrise." And the woman was just taken aback and said, "Thank you so much," and pulled it out of there and said, "Hey, why don't you keep the pencil and keep the notebook? You can use it next time you're here." And that was just another really cool small moment. And I think if I was worried about what I was going to drink that night, if I was going to have wine with dinner or whatever the case is, if I was worried about those types of things, then I probably would not have realized the joy that brought my daughter, and the joy that it brought this other husband and wife, because there was that connection again, that spark that was just so cool to see. But if I wasn't feeling good, if I wasn't sober, my mind wasn't in the right place, I wouldn't have recognized it. And that's a shame, because you want to be able to recognize those beautiful moments. But when you're in an addiction state and you're not able to really get your mind clear on what's the most important things out there in life, then you don't really notice those things. And poof, that moment's gone, and you're not going to get it back. And that's a sad situation. But at the end of the story is that husband and wife came over, and they bought our daughters a dessert and said, "Hey, we wanted to thank you for this. Our kids and their grandkids live way out of town, and we wish we would see them more often, and we don't. And it's really cool seeing a family like yours just having a good time and laughing and enjoying it. And that made my night. I'm going to go put this up on the fridge." And like, obviously we didn't know that. We had no idea that their kids and their grandkids were not in town and that they couldn't celebrate those things. But it's just being genuine. It's just being in the moment. It's just connecting with people and being sober and not being addicted to something allows you to do that. And it's just beautiful. It's so much better. So here's the last story. And this one is about me and my dad, which is an awesome story. And I obviously, cherish my cabin, and that's a great little thing for me, and it's something that I've really enjoyed working on in recovery, and it's a project for me, and it continues to be. And I go out there very often, have some coffee. You know, there's a little stove in the cabin, so sometimes I'll heat something up. And my dad just said, hey, I want to come over and have a cup of coffee with you. And what turned into a 10-minute cup of coffee, it's, 30 degrees outside, there's a little snow, it's 80 degrees inside, we had to crack a window, it was so warm with the stove, turned into 2 hours of us just connecting on sobriety, connecting on why I've made the decisions I have, connecting on life, connecting on being a father, what I've learned from him as a dad. We had some chili. I heated that up on the stove as well, and it was just great, and it just, the ambiance of getting in there and sharing that moment is really what matters and what it's about. And, it doesn't hurt at all that it's in a cabin and there's that cool kind of feel for it. And it's just a connection one-on-one. And it was great, So we just shared a cup of coffee and a lot of great stories and valuable time together that, you just have to cherish. And I'm 45, and as parents get older, and, if you're lucky to have your parents and you have a relationship with them, and I think that's important to continue on. And those are things that I'm not going to forget. I can guarantee you that before I was sober, number one, I may not have had that conversation with my dad. And if I did, I don't know that I would have been there in the moment 100% with him, really engaged, really taking advantage of that opportunity with him, and really cherishing that time with him. So the point of these 3 stories, yes, they're 3 stories, but these beautiful moments happen all the time, every day, to hundreds and thousands of people, and you just have to see it. You just have to have your mind clear. You have to be able to recognize when they happen. You got to be in the right place, and being sober and in recovery is gonna allow you to be able to do that. If you're worried about your next drink, if you're worried about that party that's going to happen tonight, if you're addicted to something and you're having withdrawal symptoms, or whatever the case is, you are just not going to recognize those beautiful moments for what they are. And that is a sad reality. When you get yourself sober, when you get clear-minded, and you can really recognize and identify those things and really cherish those moments, you can start to see what life's all about. Life is all about those little moments that people share that over time build up over and over and over. And that is what makes people happy and gives them value in life and has them connect with others socially. And that is the key. So when you're sober, you can recognize those things, and you can create those things for yourself too, and for the family members around you. And it is beautiful. And I hope that you're able to do that. So take those 3 stories as such and look for those little moments in your life. Have your eyes wide open and clear. Be clear-minded and be ready to accept those things for what they are. I always end with this. Please reach out if you need help. Find your local AA chapter. Get the Meeting Guide app. Look for open AA meetings. Look for Smart Recovery. Do what you need to do to get some support. You can do it. It's one day at a time. I believe in you. You got to believe in yourself to get on the journey to physical, mental, and spiritual sobriety and well-being. That's what it's all about. You can do it. Get after it. And that is it for now. Bye-bye.